But also we need to consider what are the rules for living in a tent in these places. Will the police be there on hand day to day, 24/7,
Have to be.
365? Because it's a dangerous place.
Have to be.
Do we provide them with water, trash service, electricity, maybe an extension cord coming from your business to the camp? Do we provide them with medical attention right there on the spot in the campground? How big of these campgrounds do you want them to be? How many people can stay there? What are the rules for these cities within a city that the Austin City Council is going to approve next week? And where do you want them to be? Where do you not want them to be? How far away from schools? How far away from your neighborhood? How far away from businesses?
Yeah.
These are the things we need to think about because we know how bad and nasty they've become in other cities that don't have these kind of rules and guidelines.
There's no way you can do this without providing security. You can't just take an open field somewhere, for example, and say, okay, this is where you have to camp or you have to get out.
Are you
and
gonna
just leave them.
Are you going to allow registered sex offenders to live in these tent cities?
It's just such a mess, man.
It really is.
Yeah, there is no perfect solution. And then the fear is always, and it's probably more than a fear, I think it's probably reality. You provide something like this that might look kind of, maybe this is a better situation for the homeless if it worked, and then what does it do? It attracts more.
Yeah.
Word gets out. There's a grapevine, man. More coming to Austin. Look what they're doing there.
We need to bring back asylums for those who are severely mentally ill.
Yeah.
And you need to either be in a drug rehabilitation program or alcohol treatment program, or you can't be homeless in this city. Move
Right,
on. Move
right.
on down to San Antonio.
Right.
Move up to Waco.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you got three choices. If you're mentally ill, a sane asylum. If you're on drugs, rehab. If you're on booze, some sort of treatment. One of those three things and some sort of job retraining camp. That's what these campgrounds should be, job retraining camps. And if you're either mentally ill, we got a place for you. If you're on drugs, we got a place for you. If you're on the booze, we got a place for you. And if you're not any of those and you just want to be off the grid and disconnected from the community,
Right.
then we don't want you here.
I agree with you 100%.
Ain't nobody talking about that stuff but you and me.
I know, but because what you're doing, what you're saying is the exact opposite of what the city of Austin, what our city officials just voted to do, which is essentially camp anywhere, be here. It's okay. We like the fact you're homeless, and we want to make sure you can be homeless for a long time.
It's very inhumane the way the city council is handling
I think so, because what they're doing is they are promoting homelessness. They
love it.
They are. It's like they're advocates for homelessness and to keep you homeless. They're aiding in you being homeless is what they're doing.
I don't want anybody sleeping on the streets, and I'm willing to help them.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not willing to enable them.
Well, what you're talking about, enabling is the word. That is the word, and you're talking about. I think it's no nonsense. It's straight ahead, and it's not going to be pretty. But you know what? It's not going to be as ugly as the current situation.
The city is going to choose some locations, south, north, east, and west, where they're going to say it's okay for homeless people to camp. Which park in South Austin, West Austin, East Austin, and North Austin are we willing to sacrifice to turn into a tent city?
What if it's just city-owned land that is not a park? And certainly that exists. Certainly there's going to be city-owned land that is just okay, I'm thinking right behind our building here near Clock Tower Drive, near Rutherford and Clock Tower Drive. There's a massive open field there, which has been very popular for whatever you need
for
to
a
do.
lot of homeless folks, including the illegal immigrant 3 years ago that was arrested because he was raping prostitutes, beating them up in his little secret garden that he created just behind our building here.
But it's a massive open field. That kind of city-owned property, I mean, why does it have to be a park? What you keep bringing in a park? I mean, why can't it be just that?
Because
kind
that's
of
what
thing?
the city is looking at, and that's what has happened in other cities, including Seattle, Los Angeles, even up in Dallas. So I would assume the city council is going to do the same thing.
God, there's just no perfect solution.
We got to start speaking up on this, or the mayor is going to start doing things. People need to speak up, making phone calls, City Hall, and writing letters, or whatever you got to do to get attention, because the city's going to make some decisions on this, regardless of what you think.
Right. But what you're talking about is tough. It is what we'll consider. A lot of people will consider that you're neglecting my rights, by taking me to and that's what we're going to have to do. That's the bottom line. It will be ugly. The process would be ugly. The mayor would never go for
If
it.
it's a humanitarian crisis, and I think a lot of people look at it that way, I think the mayor would even say we got a crisis, then it's time to open up the Austin Convention Center and turn it into some sort of living quarters for the homeless. If it's that kind of crisis, if you really do care about people, Mayor, you need to get busy. Get them off the streets, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
if that's the goal.
You got shelter right there.
The
don't
first thing the mayor needs to do, mayor and the police chief, go out and actually round up the top 20 homeless folks that commit the most crimes. They know who they are. They know their names. The police officers arrest them repeatedly over and over and over. They get taken to jail. They get released a few hours later. We know the top 20 offenders who are homeless.
They do.
Round their ass up and put the bitch on them, habitual offender, and I guarantee you will see a marked decrease in crime in this city.
I know, but I keep thinking about this. All right, just
Does that make me sound cold and mean?
No. Ultimately, it makes you sound compassionate because you know that this is what is going to work, what would work. But let's say that scenario of opening up the convention center because this is a crisis, this is an emergency, and we have crews going around town that are saying, come with us. We're taking you to the convention center. We've opened it up. We've got AC for you. We've got bathrooms. We've got running water, everything you need. We're going to make services available. Those that say, hell no, I'm not going. I'm coming back to this again. What do you do with those? Do you stick them in a truck and you drive them out of town screaming and yelling?
Start walking. Northbound or southbound on I-35, start walking. You can't be here.
Or
if you don't want to take advantage of the services that we currently have, get your ass out of town.
Well, right.
Move on down the road.
Or what? That's the question. Or what?
Get on down the road out of this city.
I know, but if you don't get on the road down the city, you're not going to go to the homeless
Then
shelter.
you go to jail.
Which, as we know, will be 24 hours of a roof over their head, and then they're back out.
And eventually we put the bitch on them, habitual offender. We lock them up even longer.
All right. I'm open to anything.
I don't have all
I'm
the
open
answers.
to anything.
I don't have all the answers.
I know.
8:45 and a check on traffic. Here's Melinda.
2 left lanes blocked over on Mopac southbound near Spicewood Springs thanks to a wreck. Traffic is solid back to Parmer. We also have a reported collision on 183 northbound Service Road at Burnett Road and Koenig Lane westbound just past Airport Boulevard. And signals not working properly 35th Street at Jackson, so you'll need to treat that as an all-way stop. I'm Melinda Brandt with Austin's On-Time Traffic.
This segment brought to you by ARS Rescue Rooter.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
Right now at ARS, we'll buy back and replace your old AC and heating system with a brand new high-efficiency system. Call today. We'll install today. Guaranteed. 777-7000.
Sunny to partly cloudy today, high 98, then mainly clear with a low of 74 tonight. Tomorrow will turn out partly sunny. We'll have a high of 99, partly sunny with a high of 96 on Saturday. From the Weather Center, I'm Heather Zayer.
This segment brought to you by Blue Emu. Use Blue Emu. Blue Emu's deep penetrating and odor-free formula supports healthy muscles and joints. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Hi, Rick Edelman here. Join me this Saturday for the answers to all your questions on investments, taxes,
Back after this,
money
out
for
at
retirement,
53
mortgages,
GT
getting
first,
kids
please.
into college, and more. It's the Rick Edelman Show every Saturday morning at 11 on KLBJ News Radio.
8:47 and back to the phone. Damon is checking in from the Coshada Casino at the Y in Oak Hill.
Oh, lovely.
Good morning,
Good
Damon.
morning. Don't forget homeless camp number 3 and 4.
Yes.
They're out here as well.
That's right. Adlerville and Kazaristan.
I wanted to kind of challenge you guys. There's no reason to make accommodations. I don't want a crew picking people up. If we just enforce the laws for building fires, camping in public, pooping and peeing in public, exposure, what I have seen is when you lock them up just for 24 hours, they can't get their drugs, they can't get their drink on. You're disrupting the life that they're choosing to live.
No, you're right about that. If we just enforce urinating in public laws, they'll stop doing it because they don't want to miss their booze. They don't want to miss their drugs being locked up for 24 hours.
They will move on down the road.
Yeah.
And I'm also it really bothers me to my core. My wife and I used to do 24-hour jail release, and there were dozens of people every weekend arrested for peeing in public. In a back alley down by 6th Street.
Yeah.
And now these people have free passes to make fires, poop and pee in public, and just different set of rules for the irresponsible people.
You mentioned you and your wife do some kind of 24-hour jail release. What's that?
Well, we used to. Well, my wife's an attorney.
I don't know what that is. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, if you get arrested, if you need to get out of jail. It's some petty misdemeanor, but you take the trip downtown. He would get you out of jail.
Oh, like a bail bonds, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, in Travis County, lawyers can act like a bondsman.
Gotcha.
It's this thing called the Hobby Rule, and it's really convoluted here in Austin.
7777777.
Right.
Thank you.
That wasn't us, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think if you just enforce the existing rules, don't make accommodations, don't buy new buildings, the homeless population would shrink, and then maybe we could really deal with the out of work person that has a couple of kids that is homeless, not the person who chooses to lead this irresponsible lifestyle.
Yeah, I hear you, Damon. Absolutely. So good points there.
I get the concept, but do we have enough jail space? Do we have enough cops to deal with it? It's right. Make the alternative very, very unattractive, and maybe eventually they move on. Maybe.
John and Ron Rock, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Curtis, to me, this homeless business has become a really big business for y'all.
What do you mean?
They're already, hitting you up for $500 million from the private sector, and of course there's going to be government funds. Y'all didn't like the building they were going to propose to build, so they're just going to cram them down your throats and shove them all over. I can't object to that because that keeps them down there instead of coming up here. We don't have them up here in Round Rock.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Not to that extent, no.
Yeah, you just don't see them. Round Rock police actually enforce the law, which means the homeless community hides a little bit deeper into the woods. You got them there, John. They're up there in your neighborhood.
And work their way down.
Yeah, 512-836-0590. Toll free 877-590-5525 here on the Todd and Don Show. You interested in getting started in the pot business, Don?
More than anything in the world.
Well, now there's a college course for that.